Hi everyone, my BS husband and I have been working on reconciliation for about 8 weeks now after my affair, which lasted 4 months. Things have been rough, but we've both been putting in the effort. We've been in therapy, both individual and couples, and I've been doing everything I can to help him heal, including quitting my job where AP is at. Last night, we were watching a movie when a scene triggered him badly. It was a romantic scene that reminded him of something I had done during the affair. He didn't say anything right away, but I could feel his mood shift. This morning, we had a huge fight. He said he couldn't stand being around me right now and asked me to move out for a while to give him space. This isn't the first time he's asked me to leave when he's feeling overwhelmed. In the past, I've gone to stay at a friend's house or booked a hotel for a few days to give him time to cool off. But every time I do, I feel like it sets us back. I want to give him space, but I also worry that by leaving, I'm reinforcing his feeling that I'm abandoning him or running away from the consequences of my actions. We've discussed this in therapy before, and our therapist suggested we create boundaries for when either of us feels triggered, but this feels different. He was so upset this time that I worry if I stay, it'll just escalate things even more. I don't want to do more harm than good. Should I respect his request and move out temporarily, or is there a way I can stay without making things worse? I don't want to leave him when he's hurting, but I also don't want to force my presence on him if that's going to trigger him even more. Has anyone else been in a similar situation? How did you handle it? Thanks in advance for any advice. Edit. It was a romantic scene, not a sexual one. My BS's unaware of the fact that me and AP got physical. Edit 2. I understand about full disclosure, but the only reason BS agreed to give us a chance was because he thought there was no sex involved. I can't survive without my marriage. Update 1. Hey everyone, I decided to respect his wishes and moved in with a friend for a few days. This has been one of the hardest things I've ever done because of a dreadful feeling of finality, but I feel I have no choice to give him the space he's asking for. Even though it feels like everything is falling apart, I know I have to do this for him and in turn for myself. Since I've had time away, I've done a lot of reflecting on the affair and how we ended up here. Here's the full story of what happened. Even just writing it makes me feel sick to my stomach. The affair started in the most cliché way possible, at work. I had been feeling disconnected from my husband for months, and I was lonely. There were cracks in our marriage, but instead of addressing them, I distracted myself with work, social events, and anything else that would keep me from having to address the growing distance between us. That's when I met the coworker. I wouldn't call what happened an emotional affair at first, but there was definitely a strong connection right away. Over about 3 months, we would talk intimately about our lives, and gradually we started to sneak away into locked rooms in the office during breaks. We crossed boundaries. When we realized we were not satisfied with the little adventures we had at the office, we got a motel. Over the next 2 months or so, we frequented there. After about 4 months of this spiraling situation, I freaked out. I realized I was on the verge of throwing away everything, my marriage, my image, the life I had worked so hard to build. So I re-entered therapy, something I had neglected for a while, and put the brakes on the affair hard. I told the co-worker that whatever was going on between us had to end immediately, and I left my job to avoid any further temptation. I genuinely wanted to recommit to my BS and the life we had, but it was already too late in many ways. When I confessed to my husband about the affair, I felt my redemption arc was complete. I told him about the emotional connection but minimized the physical part, leaving out how far it had gone. I thought that sparing him those details would make things easier, that it would somehow protect him from the worst parts of the truth. I couldn't have been more wrong. The next day he asked me if there was more. I panicked, but I knew I had to tell him everything. I had been reading articles about full disclosure in infidelity situations and how it's the only real path forward if you ever hope to rebuild trust. So I told him everything. The kisses, the touching, the groping, but still left out the sex part. I watched as his face fell and the reality of my betrayal hit him all over again. He was completely broken. Seeing him that way made me break inside. No matter how much I tried to rationalize it or convince myself that I was doing the right thing by stopping the affair, the damage was already done. When he offered me a chance to redeem myself, I took it and was immensely grateful. I thought we were doing good. We talked more, and we're trying hard to repair the cracks in our marriage, but then he threw me out. I've spent the last few days in a constant state of anxiety, wondering if we'll ever get past this. My husband has barely reached out since I moved out, and I'm terrified that this might be the end for us. I'm staying in therapy and trying to focus on self-improvement, but I'm a complete mess on the inside. How could I hurt him like this? What was I thinking? Final update. I'm heartbroken as I write this. Reconciliation has failed. We're divorcing. My husband called today. It wasn't the conversation I had been hoping for. Instead of talking about how we might move forward, or even just checking in, he told me that he's seen a lawyer and is filing for divorce. He asked me to hire my own lawyer and made it very clear that he wouldn't be paying for mine. He sounded so distant, so final. I've been sitting with that phone call for hours now, just replaying it over and over in my head. It feels like my whole world is falling apart. I've been bracing for this ever since I confessed everything. But now that it's come to realization, I just don't have the strength to face it. I feel so broken. I can't stop thinking about all the ways I could have handled things differently, about the lies I told and the moments I could have turned back before it went too far. I don't know how to survive without him, but I guess I have no choice now. I'll start looking for a lawyer tomorrow, though I don't even know where to begin. I wish I had some kind of silver lining or words of wisdom to end this post with, but I just feel empty. I let down the one person who mattered most to me, and it's painful living with that fact for the rest of my life. I feel so lost. Story 2. Wife cheated on me 5 years ago. I still can't shake it. She and I started dating in our teens, got married in our 20s, then she broke my heart in 2014 when she had an affair with a coworker. I'm 33 male, she's 31. As someone who chose to work things out, it's been 5 years since D-Day, and it's still a constant battle. At least once a week, something triggers me about what she did. It could be a song, movie, or TV show, and when it happens, it hurts every time. She's told me to my face that she's working on herself and trying to process and be better, but how can I ever believe her 100%? Is it possible? Can the love of your life be someone that breaks your heart too? I'll give her that we weren't our best selves in the months leading up to D-Day, but she put the bullet into the head of our comatose marriage. Now our marriage has a giant scar on it. 5 years post D-Day and a song played at the wrong time can set me back weeks of progress. I want this whole thing to have never happened. My heart hurts and it's been 5 years. I still can't even function on the date of D-Day. I'm 0 out of 5 on not being a wreck that day. If she somehow manages to never cheat on me again, that would be okay, I guess. It's like, why is that something I should celebrate? Yay, it should have never happened in the first fucking place, you. Good job on not breaking my heart twice. The more I think about it, the more I don't see the big deal with forgiving someone who broke your heart. So basically, she gets a free pass to hurt me? I wanted to do literally every thought I had after D-Day, all of them. To me, to her, yes. But I didn't and I won't. Me forgiving her gives her an extra life to process her demons, and in return I get a better version of her. She still looks, talks, and sounds like the person who broke my heart. How can I know that a better version of her exists? 5 years and it's still haunting me. I'm stuck. I'm still fucking hurt. It's not the 10 it used to be. Now it's a consistent 4. She's doing, saying, and showing me all the things that point to her, working on improving herself in our marriage. But there's a hole in our boat and she doesn't want to see it because only she's the one who put it there. This sucks. It sounds like you've been trapped in a cycle of pain and disappointment for the past 5 years, despite both of you making an effort. But here's the truth. For some people, infidelity is a deal breaker. Plain and simple. No matter how much time passes or how much effort is put in, the betrayal never really fades. And there's nothing wrong with that. Not cheating is a basic expectation, and when someone fails to meet it, it can create a wound that never fully heals. You've been trying for half a decade, and from what you've said, so has she. But if you're still this miserable, constantly triggered, and feeling like the marriage has a permanent scar, what other conclusion is there? Maybe what you need to truly start healing is to separate yourself from the person who caused this pain in the first place. You wouldn't be the first person to realize years later that it just isn't going to work, and you won't be the last. There's no shame in deciding that enough is enough. Sometimes the best way to heal is to let go of what's hurting you. You deserve to live a life where you're not constantly haunted by this betrayal, where a song or a memory doesn't throw you back into the depths of grief. It's okay if it's over. You've given everything you can, and maybe it's time to take care of yourself now. You deserve peace.